All right, welcome to episode 3 of this completely free course on how to start your online agency from scratch. If you're just barely starting your online business, I would highly suggest going back to episodes 1 and 2 that talks about how to pick your niche, your model, and your offer, and then how to actually build out your services before you go start landing clients. But this is probably going to be my favorite episode because this is my absolutely favorite subject to talk about, and it's how to outreach to prospects, stand out, be unique, but then also scale it so that you can consistently land meetings and gain new business. And this episode is going to be so important because this is where most people give up, because this is where the grind comes in, right? This is where the hard work comes in. And if you've never done sales before, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but those who are willing to put in the work are going to figure out how to build their systems so it gets a lot easier and a lot more consistent when it comes to landing new clients. Now, like I say at the beginning of every episode, because this is a completely free course, all I ask is that you leave a like, leave a comment if you find the video helpful, and feel free to subscribe to the channel because it really helps us out. I'll also put a link in the description for GoHighLevel because that's the software that we're going to be using today to build out a lot of our outreach methods. And I'll link our free community as well that we're building as we're going throughout this free course to help each other share our successes, our failures, and come together to motivate one another to keep going and actually make this work. So let's go ahead and jump into episode 3 so you can get your first meeting on the calendar.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So this is the system that we're going to build out, and I'm going to dive really deep into each of these things. So by the end of this video, you can have this whole system built out yourself and start to get consistent meetings week over week to close some of your first clients. But I want to give you a quick tip. I put it in parentheses here. I think I've mentioned this in other videos and some of the other episodes, but think about your inner circle. Before I go into getting leads and cold outreach and different things like that, I want you to think about, is there a family member? Is there a friend that maybe has a business? Maybe they have a connection to a business. Maybe they, work for a small business that might use some of these services. Think about your offering. Could you solve a problem for them? And either A, you can do some free work for them, build a proof of concept and they sign on as a long-term client for you, or B, maybe you do free work and they don't sign on as a long-term client, but now you have this awesome case study that you can go take to make your demo that much stronger. So think about your interconnections, your inner circle. Sometimes that's the greatest way to land your first client. But let's talk about getting leads on a broader basis, because if you don't have leads and people to reach out to, email, call, whatever it might be, you're going to have a really hard time landing your first client. Now, we're going to be talking about free methods and paid methods because obviously everyone's budgets are a little bit different when they're starting a business. And so no matter what situation that you're in, both of these should be able to work for you to get some leads to reach out to. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the free version of getting leads to kick off here. If you have absolutely no budget, this works. So you're going to go over to Google and you're going to type in the following in your search bar. So you're going to do a little bit more of an advanced search, but you're going to do site, these colons right here, Instagram.com, and then you're going to put in your niche, right? So maybe it's fitness coaches, maybe it's car detailers, maybe it is lawyers, dentists, whatever it might be. Put it in there. And then go ahead and put in gmail.com or yahoo.com or outlook.com in these parentheses right here. And essentially what this is doing is it's going to put in a search. It's going to look for Instagram profiles that have their personal emails. I shouldn't say personal, their business emails in their bios that you can then go scrape. So I'm going to go ahead and hit search here. Now I'm going to go ahead and blur this screen just for privacy reasons for these profiles because they didn't give consent to be on this video. But in these bios, I'm going to quickly see all these different emails that again include Gmail, Yahoo, or Outlook. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to copy this whole page right here. And I'm just going to hit copy. And then I'm going to take this over to my notes and quickly paste it. All right. And then once I paste it in my notes, and if you're asking why do I do this, it's because when I put it into ChatGPT, which is going to be the next step for this to format it into a nice CSV file, for whatever reason, it just copy and paste better into ChatGPT when I put it in my note first and then put it over. So you can put it right into ChatGPT if that worked for you, great. But if you're having trouble, go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and copy it. And I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and I'm going to paste it in there. All right, now that I'm in ChatGPT, I'm going to go ahead and put in the following prompt. So I'm just going to paste it here. And again, you can copy it exactly as you see here on the screen. So format the data below into a table with these columns: first name, last name, company name, website URL, email, and phone number. Now, will it be able to capture everything? No, it's not going to, because it's basically going to take the Instagram profiles that we made from that search or that Google search that we had. And if they have their website in there, great. It's going to identify that and put it into the sheet. It's going to take the emails and put it into that sheet. But not every single bio on an Instagram profile is going to have all this information. So be patient with it. It might take multiple pages of searches to be able to gather these leads together. But again, if you're not working with any budget, this is just what you have to do sometimes in the beginning. I am going to show an easier way that does cost a little bit more money. So if you want to take that, stay tuned. But I'm going to go ahead and paste the data from that Google sheet right below here. All right. And then again, I'm just going to blur this just for privacy reasons, but now it's going to put in this really nice table for me here, and it's going to have their websites. It's going to have their emails. If they have phone numbers in there, they're going to be in there as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and just open up a quick Google sheet so I can copy and paste this right in. Now, these aren't the names that I got from the Google search, so don't worry. These are fake emails and fake phone numbers. Don't try to go contact them. But essentially right here, I just put in first name, last name, phone, email, notes. You can put in other columns as well, depending on what data that you want to gather. Maybe you do websites, whatever it might be. And then you can take it from ChatGPT and then boom, copy it right into here. Another option that people will use sometimes, because sometimes ChatGPT, especially if you're on the free version, is a little bit hard to work with. So DeepSeek, that's another AI that you can use that's also free, is really good at formatting these as well. So you can try to use ChatGPT, you can try to use DeepSeek, but this is a great way, especially when you're first getting started and you're wanting to gather emails, to start gathering leads into a Google sheet. Maybe you do this for 30, 45 minutes a day. Try to make a goal to get, 30 to 40 new leads added in here with good email addresses that are in the Instagram bios. And then you can start loading them into cadences, which we're going to talk about later in this video as we continue to go through this. One more quick note on this as well. You can Google and even probably search other YouTube videos for free scraping tools for, things like when you're doing Google searches on Google Maps, different things like that. But the problem with it is a lot of the times the business emails aren't in the Google Maps profiles or, the page for Google Maps. So this is why I like to use the Instagram or Facebook method, because going back to that search that we did before, let me just quickly switch back to it. Another quick tip for this is I can replace this with other websites. So the two that I would replace it with are facebook.com. And then you could also do LinkedIn, which is a really good one. So it kind of depends on your niche, right? So like for instance, fitness coaches, you're probably going to find more of them with a bigger presence on Instagram. But maybe if you're doing something that's a little bit more professional, like a lawyer or maybe a dentist you can usually find on Instagram and LinkedIn. So we'll stick with a lawyer example. A lot of the times you're going to find more of them on LinkedIn, right? So you would just switch this out, cite LinkedIn, switch this out to lawyer, and then again, just do at Gmail, at Yahoo, at Outlook. Now, a lot of them might have business emails, but I promise there's people out there still with Gmails, Yahoos, and all that. So anyway, quick tip on that. Now let's move on to the paid version. All right, now let's talk about the paid version of scraping leads, and that is going to websites like Upwork and Fiverr and hiring a lead generation assistant. Now, if you have any money to invest, and I've said this a few times in the course, the whole point of me offering for this for free on YouTube is so you don't have to spend $1,000 on a course, and you can actually take that money and invest it in things like the GoHighLevel software to help you build out your services and some of the outreach methods that we're going to talk about today, maybe hiring an assistant, whatever it might be, right? I want you to take your money and be able to invest it in these types of places. Because these lead generation assistants, or some people call them VAs, they have access to lead scraping softwares like ZoomInfo, like Apollo, and many others that are out there. And because they are helping out so many people who are starting businesses or established business owners, they can offer very affordable prices because, they're paying one price for the software on a monthly basis, but they're helping so many people. So the cost is spread out a little bit. So you can, again, pay for the softwares themselves, but they can get really expensive. Like I think ZoomInfo is like $1 for each credit. So right, if you're trying to scrape 1,000 leads a month, it's going to rack up pretty quick. So anyway, with that being said, I came on here when I first got started and I just came up to the top on Upwork and I just typed in lead generation. Once I had that popped up, it's going to show me all the different options. Now over here on the left side, if you've never used this before, and if you have not a ton of a budget to work with, you can adjust the hourly rate to find people that are more in your range. So for instance, when I first started, I wanted to find people that were under $10 and max be at $20 per hour. And then what you can do is you can select these right here, the talent badges. And so you can do top rated plus or top rated, or you can even do rising talent. Sometimes they have a little bit cheaper rates because they're not as established, but they can be just as talented as some of the top rated people. All right, so once I've selected these, now you can see here, I have it blurred out just because I don't have their consent to show their profile on this video, but you can see their reviews, you can see how many jobs they've done, you can see their overall star rating, and then you can click these buttons right here to invite them to a job. And then in order to invite someone or create a job, you can actually just go up here to hire talent, and then you can go to post a job, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Upwork even has AI to help you post your job in a few seconds. If you need help generating a description and you don't like what Upwork's giving to you, you can go to the as well, play around with it a little bit, and then have it be your job posting there. But at the end of the day, you can hire this person, and you can say, hey, I want 500 leads for orthodontists, for car detailers, whatever it might be. And this is how I want it formatted. And maybe you give them a suggestion similar to this CSV right here. You can even use this as an example. First name, last name, phone, email, websites, and notes. Notes maybe aren't as important just because you'll add notes later down the line. You can just do that in the GoHighLevel software. But then boom, they offer you this CSV. And then what you can do is you can take this, and I'll just quickly show you how you can upload it, and click file here, hit download. And then I'm going to do a .csv file. This is going to quickly download up here. Then I'm going to move over to the GoHighLevel platform, and I'm going to go ahead and click contacts here on the left side. And then once I'm in contacts right here, you're going to see these buttons right here at the top, and you're going to hit import contacts. And then once I'm in here, what I can go ahead and do is just do next, drag this in, and then I can hit next one more time. Oh, let me try that one more time. Here we go. And then I'm going to map these fields. So if you don't know what mapping means, it's basically going to take a look at the CSV and say, hey, what do you want to name this column? So again, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's like you want to make sure that first name equals the first names, last names equal the last names. And the reason why this is important is because when you're putting in customized messages for your outreach, if you remember from my other videos, when I've made automations or built out emails, and if you don't remember, I'll show you how to do it in this email or in this video, you put in a variable to make it customized. So you can say, hey, first name, and then it's going to attach their actual first name to that message. So you're just going to make sure that these are all mapped correctly. So first name to first name, last name to last name. And then after that, you can come down here if there's one that you don't want to select or that you don't want to map. Sorry, I shouldn't have said didn't want to map. You can type in what you want to map. So website, and then you can hit next. All right, and then once we're to this page, what we can go ahead and do is a few things. You can add tags to your contacts, which I would suggest doing this because it just keeps it organized. So typically what I'll do is I'll come into here, maybe add a tag for like when I uploaded them. So maybe I do like contacts uploaded and then put the date in, right? Sure. Put that there. And then it will tag it right here. If you want to add the contacts right into a workflow, so a workflow again is like your email cadence or your manual actions. We're gonna dive a lot deeper into that, so don't worry about that right now if you don't know what it is. But that's how you're gonna send your emails. You can do it right there. And then when you come down here, you just want to confirm that all these contacts are good to go. And then you are going to start a bulk import. Now, one thing that's important to note when it comes to doing cold emails, so you can use GoHighLevel, but you need to make sure that you're following cold email guidelines. And I'm not here to give legal advice. I am not a lawyer in any way, shape, or form. But a few things to note: when you're sending cold emails, you need to make sure that you have an opt-out link, because if they didn't opt in to getting an email from you, you need to have a way for them to unsubscribe to the email that you're sending out. It's also important that you warm up your email domain, because if you don't warm up your email domain, you're going to land in the spam folder quite often. So I will send emails out through here. If you want some alternatives that are really good when it comes to bulk email sending, and again, you have a few extra dollars to spend on a monthly basis, another software that I would use when I first got started to help land in the inbox a little bit more was called Instantly. And I'll just show you, I think I spelled that wrong. There it is, instantly.ai. Another great tool where, again, same principle, you can go get leads load it into here. And then you can have different cadences going. You can track your open rates, response rates, all that jazz. But it's up to you. You can stay in the GoHighLevel platform. You can come into here. It's your call. So once we go ahead and upload those, we are going to now come back to our contacts page. And then what you can go ahead and do is, now that you have these all loaded in, you can come to filters right here. And then I just want to show you this real quick. So you can do like filter is tag, go to your tag, hit apply, and then there's all your people right there. So anyway, that's how you can organize and find the contacts that you've loaded in. And there we go. That is how you can get leads. So again, just a quick recap, free leads, you can use that Google search that I showed to you. Or if you want to spend a little bit of money, which I would highly suggest, if you have the budget to spend it, you can go to websites like Fiverr and Upwork to hire a lead generation assistant that can then go through and help you get a CSV file that you can load directly into softwares like GoHighLevel to start email campaigns to land meetings. Now, let's go to number 2, now that we know how to get our leads, and that is setting up our background motion. So let me explain what this is, and then I'll show you how you can build it out. So whenever I had my outreach methods, I would call them my background motion and my front end motion. And what this would mean is my background motion was completely automated. So I could load contacts into an email campaign. I could let them go through it, forget about them, and they would get all the emails that I would send out, and then I would just automatically get responses. I called it like my passive income. And I have a whole email cadence that I will give to you in this video so you can set it up the way that I did. And it was really nice. You definitely have to send more emails because it's not as personalized, so they don't stand out. But typically I could get 1 to 2 responses a week of people saying like, yeah, I'm interested. Let's set up a meeting to check this out. The front end motion is more manual. So it's more personalized emails. You're going to take a little bit more time crafting these emails. And I tried to set a goal for myself to send anywhere from 25 to 40 a day. So it took a little bit more time, but because I knew so many salespeople, right? You got to put your head in the mind of the business owner. They probably get reached out to all the time by different people trying to sell stuff to them. Like, you're not the only one. So you always have to think to yourself, how do you stand out in their inbox? And the front end motion is what helped me do that. So I would take a little extra time to craft an email. Maybe I would record a quick Loom for them. And in that Loom's just a video screen recording software. I would go to their website and maybe I would fill out one of their forms and show them how I didn't get an automated text right away and demonstrate what I could do for them. Maybe I would build out a quick ad for them to demo and show for them, maybe a website template. And again, I'm just using the GoHighLevel website templates, but I'm just showing it for them for their specific industry, showing what I could do for them if they don't have a website, things like that. So again, 25 to 40 a day, higher response rates, slower to send out. So hopefully that explains the background motion and front end motion, but I would make sure that both of these were going at all times. So let's go ahead and talk about the background motion. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into GoHighLevel here. I'm going to go to my automations and I'm going to show you what this workflow looks like. And what this is called in the sales world is a cadence. And let me pop this open here. And this is what it looked like. So the way that I would trigger this or get this going is typically was from contact tags, right? So you could go ahead and just say, hey, when I load in these contacts that I just showed you when you're importing them into GoHighLevel, add the tag outbound outreach test. And then whenever someone got that tag, they would automatically go right into this workflow. Another way you can do that is, as I showed you before, you have the option to load contacts into different automations or workflows within GoHighLevel. So you can do it either way. But then after that, what I would do is I would do an email, a wait step, an email, a wait step, and I would try to get around 7 to 8 emails out to these individuals. Because in sales, again, you're usually not going to get a response off of the first or second email. Emails get buried. They're not going to be able to see them. So how do you, provide good, quick information to them in order to stand out, even though it's more automated and you do need higher volume for this? So let me go ahead and show you this email cadence that I put together. And this is what it looks like. So email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4, and then we have all the way till email 6. But there's a few principles that you need to follow in this. Number one, make sure that your emails are short and sweet. Try to make them 100 words or less, even better. Try to get them to 75 words or less. And the question that you always want to ask yourself is, if I saw this email in my inbox, like, would I take the time to read it? Because if I see an email in my inbox and it has 3 paragraphs and it's just like super salesy, I'm probably going to click off, put it in the junk folder, and then never think about it again. But you'll see that the way that these emails are crafted, I try to create an opening line that makes them open the email. So step one is the subject line. So let me know. You'll see here, that's a very general subject line, because if I put in a subject line that's a whole sentence and it's like 30% off your monthly website, they're immediately going to be like, oh, this is a sales email, see you later. So let me know, it's more general, but the more general subject lines usually get higher open rates, and you want to keep them to 2 to 3 words. Then right here, you'll see in my opening line, I say, hey, do you have any availability next week for another car detail? I'd love to pass some appointments your way. So when they see this right away, they're like, oh, someone needs a car detail. Let me go ahead and open this email. And then you'll see here, I'd love to pass some appointments your way. And now I'm giving them my value prop, which is, hey, I've created a free online ad for you since I notice you currently aren't running Facebook ads. Would you be open to a quick call to discuss what we've built for you? Looking forward to hearing from you. So you can see there, it's a very short and sweet email. I'm providing some type of value, and I structure my email in such a way that hopefully it gets an open and they're able to actually read it and see it. Now you might be asking, hey, Nate, I don't have time to go create free ads to the 1,000 people that I'm going to email. Well, you don't have to, right? The way that this works is you don't create the free ad for them until they email you back. And maybe they go, oh yeah, can you send that over? I'd be interested in seeing this. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to take 2 seconds, go use all the templates that I've already built out, maybe switch around 1 or 2 things, send it over to them. Hey, would love to schedule a quick call next week. Let's hop on for 15 minutes and talk through this. And there you go, right? So again, this email cadence will have a bit more in it. It might have 7 to 8 steps in the GoHighLevel platform. I've updated some of these cadences, but if you are my affiliate in GoHighLevel, I actually give all of these cadences to you. So you don't even have to build them out. Once you go through the free trial and you get done with the free trial and you get the bonuses that I offer, you'll have all these automations that you can go ahead and go use. All right, now let's jump over to the other cadence, which is the front end cadence. Now, this is the one where I was talking about where I tried to send 25 to 40 emails a day that were manual, but again, had higher response rates because they were more personalized. So same principle here. Typically, I would trigger this by adding a contact tag, or you can add them into a workflow when you're importing them into GoHighLevel. And then after that, you'll see here, instead of having an email as the first task, I actually had add a task. And what this task would do is it would actually be, hey, send this person a manual email. So it's just a reminder to go in and send this person a manual email. Once I'm done with that task and have sent that email, I'm going to go ahead and hit complete. It's going to wait 2 days. And then you'll see here, I actually have an automated email for the second step. So when I scroll down here, I don't need to personalize this because I'm just bumping the personalized email that I sent over from the first thread. And it's just very simply, hey, I know emails can get buried, so I just wanted to bump this back up. Would you be opposed to a brief chat in the coming days to discuss more? And you'll see what I'm doing here. I'm actually using a bit of psychology. The way that I use my call to action, or I do my call to action at the end, is I make a no a yes. So let me explain what this means. The psychology is people want to say no. That's always their first initial reaction. But you'll see the way that I word this, hey, would you be opposed to a brief chat in the coming days to discuss more? No, I wouldn't, right? It's like that the no is the yes. And so again, does it make a huge difference? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But these small psychological tricks that I've studied for years, they've helped me out. So now you'll see here, there's another wait step. So it waits 1 more day, a manual call. And this is where maybe it's a little bit scary for you, but yes, you do need to make cold calls when you're first starting your business. And when you land your first couple of clients, the beautiful thing about this is you might build out a sales team, right? You could go back to some of those websites that I talked about, Upwork, Fiverr, that's what I would do, and hire people that could go cold call the leads that you're scraping, and they could get clients for you. You're building your own business development or sales development team is what they're called in the corporate world. And then another wait step. sending a LinkedIn connection request. I'm not going to dive into this deep right now because we're going to talk about LinkedIn as a whole separate thing. So just keep that in mind for later. Another email, and then so on and so forth. So I think you get the point. So a lot more manual steps, but they are, higher response rates. Now, I want to show you a quick example of what this looks like because I actually had someone sell me by using these types of methods. So I want to show you an email that I got where this person took, a few minutes to personalize it, but it got me to actually respond. All right, so jumping over to this page, I recently started a YouTube channel just because I was just focused on the SaaS business, but now I'm shifting to helping other people start their own SaaS business. And so when I first started, I wasn't good at making thumbnails. Like that just wasn't something that I was good at. And so the person who currently creates my thumbnails for my YouTube channel, they put together this email, and it really stood out to me because look at this. So hello, Nathan, I put together some custom thumbnails for one of your videos. This is what it looks like. And then they showed me a thumbnail that they built for me compared to one of my old thumbnails that was just, very, you could tell it was a beginner level thumbnail, I guess is the best way to put it. And that immediately made me be like, oh, wow, this person took some time to actually, solve a problem for me. I'm going to go ahead and respond to this. So hopefully that paints a quick picture of, when you're doing this front end motion and maybe you're, again, doing a screenshot, sending over a free ad that you built for them, recording a quick video of something on their website that you could fix, how you could make it stand out and get higher response rate. Now we're back here, and just to do a quick recap, the background motion and the front end motion. The background motion is automated emails. So it's your passive income. You take tons of leads, you load them in there. They're short, automated, but also have some type of value in them, and you let them go. You have higher volume and maybe lower response rates, but again, you're not doing as much work manually, and you can get 1 to 2 responses a week where people are saying, hey, yeah, I'll book a call for you, or send me what you got. I would love to take a look. Front end motion, more manual effort. Try to set a goal for yourself. Maybe even start with 10 a day, 20 a day, 30 a day, whatever it might be, whatever you have time for, and create more personalized emails, video outreach, whatever it might be. Solve a problem for business owners, show them how you can solve that. Lower volume, higher response rate. So let's go ahead and move on to paid ads. Now, I'm not going to dive into running paid ads. I'll do that in a separate video, but essentially you are running Facebook ads for your business. That's all it is. So again, if you have money to invest in this, this is a great way to get warm leads because it's going to put it in front of business owners. And if a business owner fills out a form saying, hey, I need a website, hey, I'm interested in how you run ads for businesses, obviously there is a need there. So if you have some money to spend on it, try it. And you don't need to have that much. Again, it racks up quick. But when I first started and I didn't have a huge budget to work with, I just started with $20, $25 a day. I ran it for like 2 weeks just to see what I could get. And I landed a client off of it, right? And so you don't have to invest that much. And that client that I landed, it was one of my first clients where I charged a lot more because it was my done for you services. So it was like, I think it was like $1,000 to $1,500 a month, and boom, that ad was paid for. And then every single month that they paid, now I was just in the green and making profit off of that ad that I ran. So again, won't dive super deep into this, but again, paid ads is another great way to get going when you're first getting started. Now let's talk about another free method, which is social DMs. And we're going to go back to Google real quick, and I'm going to show you how this works. All right, so now that I'm here in Google, I am quickly going to type in the following. I'm going to type in the city, state, my niche, right? So you could do dentist, orthodontist, car detailing, lawn care, whatever it might be, and then do Instagram. Now, when I do this, now I'm going to get a ton of different Instagram profiles within that specific city or area that I'm looking at. Now, the reason why I put in a specific city is because there's going to be so much more to work with when it comes to Instagram profiles. If you type in, Florida dentist Instagram or United States dentist Instagram, there's no way that it's going to pop open every single profile, right? So you're going to be able to find profiles if you go city by city. Quick pro tip, one thing that I did when I first got started is I actually just Googled, hey, show me all of the largest cities in the United States. And I would just take that list and then just go down it one by one to find thousands of Instagram profiles. Okay, once I have done that, now depending on if I'm on a Mac or if I'm on a Windows computer, I'm going to hold down Command or Control just so I can open up multiple tabs at a time. And I'm just going to open all of these tabs. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, I'm not going to open them up because I don't want people seeing the names of the Instagram profiles if people don't want them on here. But the tabs are going to pop up here. And then I would log into my Instagram profile that I used for outreach. I created a new one for outreach and built it up a little bit. You don't want to have a fake Instagram account. Well, I shouldn't say fake. I should say like you want an Instagram account that is like actually looks legit. And so what I mean by that is like, don't create an Instagram account, have no profile pictures, only have like one photo on there, and then start DMing people. You want to make it look like an established business. So I put a couple posts on there, maybe talk about what you do, put a profile picture that looks nice, a bio, and then start following people and then DMing them. And then I would make a goal for myself to try to DM anywhere from 80 to 100 people a day on Instagram, or until I hit the max. So there's only a certain amount of people that you can DM every single day, and then it will give you an error and then it will reset the next day. And by doing this, it was a great way, if I didn't want to manually scrape emails, to reach out to people in another method in which I could set up meetings. So again, if you're just barely getting started, this is a great way that you can go ahead and maybe land some of your first meetings, to land some of your first clients. Take that money and then reinvest it in, again, I'll use the example of a lead generation assistant. So now you can get leads at scale and then just focus on the outreach. So great way to send social DMs and to find different Instagram channels in your niche to try to reach out to them. All right, now that we're done with social DMs, we are going to stay in the social media realm, and we are going to talk about probably my favorite way of outreach, which is the LinkedIn side hustle. And I think I like this one the most. I've talked about it in other videos because it had the highest response rate for me personally. And what this is it's going to LinkedIn, finding people's LinkedIn profiles, sending them a connection request, and then when they accept that connection request, sending them a personalized video on your phone. So that's what's really cool about LinkedIn, is you can send them a quick video. And the reason why I like this outreach method so much is, again, put yourself in the shoes of the business owner. They are getting potentially 100 emails a day from different salespeople trying to sell them different things. So you always have to ask yourself, like, how do I break through the noise? And if you have a LinkedIn, maybe you're on the LinkedIn website and you have your own profile, how many times have you gotten a LinkedIn video? Right? Probably never, right? Especially if you don't have a ton of people reaching out to you for sales things. But maybe if you have any experience of being in a business, or maybe you manage the email for a business owner, how many times did you get a LinkedIn video? So just the video itself is a great way to personalize. Quick recap on how to do this. So if you come to LinkedIn and you type in your niche, so say it's dentists, orthodontists, lawyers, I'm going to use lawyers for this example. It's going to pull up different companies, different people. On the left side here, you can go ahead and select people, and then it will pop open all sorts of people. You can do see all people results. It will pop up a big list, and you'll see next to every single profile, this is going to be a connect button right here. And then what I did is I would go down the list and I would just connect with all these individuals, as many as I could. Typically, LinkedIn would let me do, when I first started, about 50 to 75 connection requests a week. But the more you do it, the more that LinkedIn lets you send connection requests. So you'll get to the point where you're able to send around 100 to 125 a week. And then out of that, say you send 100, typically I have anywhere from 20 to 30% of the people accept my connection request. So 20 to 30 people a week. Now I can go ahead and send 20 to 30 videos that are personalized to those people every single week. And I would typically see, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, anywhere from a 10 to 15% response rate, which you might be like, oh, Nate, that's not that high. But I promise you, in a world of cold outreach, that's great. So for every 10 videos that I'm sending, I'm getting one response. I'll take that all day long. So let me show you exactly what the script would sound like for my LinkedIn video. I'll just give you a quick example here. So the pitch will sound something like this. I'll just use my own name as an example. So say I'm doing car detailers, just as an example. So hey, Nate, just wanted to send you over a quick video, hopefully to stand out a little bit. I know you probably get messages all the time, so hopefully you're able to actually see this. I actually saw you on LinkedIn and I was exploring your website, and I noticed you actually didn't have a website for your car detailing business. And so I wanted to send you over a quick video and just show you a quick template that I actually built out for your car detailing business, just to help you have a better presence online and to be able to land more clients. I wanted to book a quick, maybe 15 to 30 minute call with you just to walk you through it a little bit more to see if it would be useful, let me know if you have a few minutes, maybe later this week, and I can send over a calendar invite and we can go from there. Right. So again, that's not perfect. It's not, the most beautiful example. Your niche may be different, but hopefully you get an idea and then you can adjust accordingly. But I promise if you are sending connection requests, especially if you're in a niche where there's more people on LinkedIn and you're able to send these videos, you will get a great response rate and some good meetings set up. All right. For some reason, Facebook doesn't let me record my face on Loom. So let's talk about groups. Groups on Facebook are another great way, a free way that you can get some leads by providing value. And I want to just give you a few tips when it comes to groups. So if you don't know what Facebook groups are, they're just communities on Facebook. And there are so many different ones with no matter what niche that you're in. So let me just give you a quick example. I'll just type in like a lawn care group, for instance. And when I type this in, you're going to see all these different lawn care groups that I can go ahead and join. Now, a few quick tips when it comes to groups. I would try to join private groups because there's a lot of spam on public groups. But if you want to start with a public group, great, get into it. But what I would suggest is trying to get into a private group. A few ways that you can find some good ones is maybe, again, very similar to how I was searching for Instagram profiles. Maybe I put in like a city on here, right? So let's just go with the Tallahassee, Florida example. All right, I didn't find any in Tallahassee, but I found one in Kansas. So you can see here, there's 8 posts a day on this one. So people are pretty active in this. So I'm going to go ahead and just click into here. And then once I'm in the group, you can see here, there's different posts of lawn care professionals and different companies. Again, depending on the group, they might be asking for tips, tricks, how to grow their business. But when you come into a group, don't just come into it and immediately go, hey guys, I'm, a marketing company helping build websites. Does anyone need help? Like if you do that, you will get banned in 10 seconds. Usually groups will have rules that you want to follow and that you want to review, but go ahead and join the group and then be active in the group, like be an active participant, right? Like posts, comment on posts, make a post that has nothing to do with your marketing services about lawn care, whatever it might be. Be an active participant of the group. And then when you are ready to post something in here, post something that is valuable and not very salesy. So I'll just give you a quick example. If you come into here and you're like, hey, does anyone need a website? I charge $99 a month for websites, come get yours today. Like obviously you're not going to get, a ton of bites on that. But maybe you post something along the lines of, hey, I'm in the lawn care industry as well. I found a great way to get websites for a lot cheaper that actually get you more leads, that have automations to book appointments, things like that. If anyone's interested, would happy to jump on a call and give you a free template, right? And then whoever's interested, comment here. You get 5 people that say that they're interested, and then you hop on calls with them, show them the free template that you built out. And then if they want it, great. Hey, I'll charge you $99 a month for this. And on the front end, we'll charge $1,000 for the initial build out for all the automations. And then to maintain it will be really cheap. So again, just an example, but a great way, especially if you don't have a ton of budget to work with at first, a great way to get involved in a community online, and that's within your niche, and to land clients. All right, now the last thing that I want to talk about is committing to your daily KPIs, because again, I want to repeat what I said at the beginning. If you are just sending 5, 10 emails a day, you're probably not going to get anywhere. So I just wanted to show you an example of what my daily KPIs look like, just so you can get a sense of the type of volume that I was doing to land anywhere from 2 to 3 meetings a week pretty consistently. So my background motion, I would always be trying to feed my background motion, which again is the automated emails, enough leads to send around 150 emails a day. For my front end motion, I would do anywhere from 25 to 40, but again, a good starting place is 20 to 30 front end motion outreaches a day, which are more personalized, take a little bit more time, but have a higher response rate. Maxing out your social DMs. So I talked about Instagram. Going to Instagram, using the Google search, sending anywhere from 80 to 100 DMs a day, sending 5 to 10 LinkedIn videos a day. We talked about that as well. And then post value in Facebook groups. So try to do, 2 to 3 Facebook posts a day. Maybe it doesn't have to be, again, salesy. Just participate in the group, like, comment, spend 20, 30 minutes in all of your groups every single day to, get a part of the community and hopefully get some good clients from that. And then check on paid ads and adjust. You don't have to do a ton with paid ads once you've set them up, but just make sure that you're checking them every day just so you're not burning money. But if you have all of these different systems set up, I can promise you, you will get meetings and you will land clients. So again, I know it seems like a lot, but the beautiful thing about it is once you land some of your first clients and you're able to invest more into the business, then you go hire a sales team that can do all of this for you. So again, starting a business isn't easy, right? It takes work. You have to grind. And especially when you're first starting out, that's usually where it's the hardest. But if you can commit to this, commit to your daily KPIs, land some of your first clients, your business is just going to scale so much quicker. And this is where the people who, change, I guess I should say, this is where people change from being the people that are the what ifs, that are always watching the YouTube videos to learn how to make money online, to the ones who are actually doers that go out and do it and become successful. Because you'd be really surprised how many people don't actually take the time to put in the work. And that's what makes you different from everybody else. If you think it's too hard, think about the percentage of people that actually put in the work. It's a lot less than what you think. So go put in the work and great things will happen.
All right, I know that was a lot. And if you are watching to this point, congratulations, because you stuck it out throughout all of episode 3. Now, I promise if you build out these systems, the front end and the back end system that we went over today, you will start seeing success in landing some of your first meetings to sign your first client. Now, if you have money to invest, great, go do some of the paid methods that I talked about. But if you're just starting out with a very minimal budget and you're spending that budget to get GoHighLevel to start your company, then all you got to do is use the free methods to land some of your first clients to break even on your softwares that you're paying for. And then you can put that same money into paid advertising and boom, you're going to start scaling up quicker and it's just going to be a big snowball effect. Now, like I said earlier in the video, if you actually sign up for a free trial of GoHighLevel using the link in the description, I actually give you all my templates and workflows that I went over today. And you're going to not only get everything to help your clients get set up with different automations and website templates, but also to help your own outreach to take the proven templates that we talked about today, both the call scripts and the email scripts that are already built out into Cadences to load contacts into to launch them so you can get a quicker start than what I had. So if you're planning to start an online agency and you haven't signed up for GoHighLevel yet, that's the main software that you're going to need. Again, click the link in the description to get your free trial started today. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out as we are providing all of this information for free. I hope you found this helpful and we'll see you in episode 4.